What up with it, baby?
Hey, tell him what you told me.
What I tell you?
What you doing it for?
Oh, promotion, baby.
All right.
What
So
you
I
mean?
ain't gotta
But
him up,
but we should spar.
I ain't gotta him up.
We should spar.
Yes, I want to show the world that I'm the best. After this fight, I want to be considered top 5 pound for pound fighter in the sport, and I can't wait to show it.
You said this week that you were in for a rude awakening when you get to 140. What do you think he's in for when he goes up against you?
I think he just don't realize how good I am. I think come fight night, he's going to realize that I'm going to take it to another level that he has never seen before. So if he's expecting the Lomachenko, the Josh Taylor fight to happen, it won't be that type of fight. Senior, tell him. We talking to senior. We ain't talking to little dude over here. Senior.
Every fight is a different version of me.
I know.
And I love it because even the people out there don't know what they're going to get from me. And that's the beauty about it. He could be studying, he could be doing a lot of things, but he's not going to know till the day of the fight. So
Terence Crawford sent Teofimo Lopez a very strong warning, stressing that it would be a huge mistake to underestimate Shakur Stevenson.
The sky is the limit with Shakur. He got the boxing skills and the ability to do whatever he wants in the ring. And it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division.
I look up to Bud a lot. Honestly, he one of the realest dudes that I done met. He's still a normal person in his head. Like, he don't believe that he's above everyone else. And that's how I feel about myself.
You seen me around a lot.
Oh, no.
Don't act like you ain't seen me around.
Them days.
He said
Bud, come on. Terrence talking, I try not to talk back. I try to just listen and
straight, boom, straight shot. Like right here, boom, there you go. But you gotta make sure you step. Bam, that's when the motherfucker trying to run out.
Crawford said that at the top levels, Shakur's timing accuracy and ring IQ are dangerous. He thinks that Shakur's defense sets up easy moves and that if Teofimo pushes or acts carelessly, Shakur can hurt him badly or even knock him out.
I'm gonna just say all of them. It don't matter who they is. He ready for the big test and the big names, and he's going to do well with each and every one of them. And
Crawford also directly attacked Teofimo Lopez, which made things tense. He didn't agree with Teofimo's point of view and asked him about how he was treating Shakur Stevenson. It's a serious and uncomfortable conversation, and Crawford makes it clear that ignoring Shakur's skills could have bad effects in the ring. Terence Crawford said he was sure that Shakur Stevenson would show the world his full ability when the time came. He thinks that Shakur's timing, focus, and knowledge of his defense make him stand out at the highest level. Crawford said that once Shakur gets some attention, people will see his skill, calm, and control and understand why he is considered one of the best boxers of all time. He also talked about his past fights.
Excellent. He was sharp. He was letting his hands go. He was standing in the pocket more. He probably got hit just a little bit too much because he was trying to please everybody that's saying, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. I talked to him and told him, just be yourself. Just keep winning. It doesn't matter what the naysayers say and what the people that's having certain agendas against him.
Dan Canobio and Chris Algery look at Teofimo Lopez's fight with Shakur Stevenson from both a business and a fighting point of view. They said that a PBC crossing is unlikely because Matchroom controls the Joshua card. They think that Shakur will stay at 140 instead of going back to 135, which doesn't happen very often. Analysts think that 140 is a nice and deep section. They both agree that Shakur has the least trouble with brawlers and that counterpunchers should be tried. This means that some matchups are unlikely to happen, even though fans are interested. I'm sorry.
For the Joshua card, so therefore we're not going to put a PBC fighter on it. Anyway, Gary Antoine, I mean, all these fights are good. Like, if Teofimo ends up losing to Shakur goes into this mix, and I do think Shakur will stay at 140 for a little bit. So, and you also have
I think he stays from now on. I don't think he goes back to 35.
Yeah, it's very rare we see these guys go down after they go up. You got to add in Shakur. You got to add in Pitbull Cruz. You got to add in Lamont Roach. There's some other good names on 140 as well. But yeah, I would say Smith presents something to this puzzle at 140 is that he's from England and he can sell over there. And if you're Hitchens, who's not the biggest ticket seller here in New York, and you want a unification, and you think you can beat Dalton Smith, you might have to go overseas to do it, where you could make a lot more money. Gary Antoine Russell versus Smith stylistically is great. Shakur versus Dalton Smith is stylistically great. Shakur, it's just a fun division.
I don't want to see that.
What?
I don't want to see Shakur and Dalton.
I put that one at like 1% chance of ever happening.
I don't want to see that.
Even though, like, you don't think Smith presents like he's more of like would be the brawler in the Shakur scenario? I know he would be.
Yeah, that's the worst style to fight Shakur. It's the worst style. You have to counterpunch Shakur. Just like with De Los Santos. He was the guy who gave Shakur the most trouble.
Yeah, but Zepeda gave Shakur the best, most aesthetically pleasing fight, but not that Smith's going to throw 100 punches around.
Completely different style, though. Zepeda and Dalton aren't you can't compare them. That's apples and oranges. Yeah, no, I don't know.
But in terms of a guy coming forward.
But is Dalton really that?
Analysts say that the difference in size between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez could change how the fight turns out. Shakur is bigger than most people because he is taller, has wider shoulders, and a stronger base. Even though Teofimo is the winner in his weight class, Shakur's strength and control have not gotten weaker as he has gotten better. And it looks like his body has landed at 140. Some experts say that size isn't just about weight. It's also about balance, strength, and how a fighter moves around with a lot of weight. Shakur can control the distance and put off the fight because he is tall, has a long reach, and stands tall. Teofimo focuses on sudden bursts of power and explosive moments, which are harder to land neatly against a bigger, more disciplined opponent. The battle will be very different if Shakur uses his size to lean, take up room, and wear down Teofimo.
Shakur Stevenson is bigger than Teofimo Lopez. Despite him moving up in weight and despite Teo being the champion, we got some action. And in this video, I'm going to show and prove and break it down. I'll make it make sense in this video. You got to stay to the end. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego. And I'm back with some more boxing. Ego Weight Watchers, aka EW, where I give you a look into the fighter's lifestyle before, after, progress pics, especially when they have an upcoming fight. I warned you, Shakur, I have no idea why he tried to play this game where when people got on
Bernie the Boxer goes into great depth about why Shakur Stevenson is better than Teofimo Lopez. He makes it clear that Stevenson is a strong fighter who shouldn't be taken lightly or easily controlled. Shakur is not like most boxers who rely on power alone or one-dimensional strategies. He uses a variety of methods. He is surprising in the ring because he is both technically perfect and smart about strategy. Bernie says that Shakur's opponents often get him wrong because they think that his calm demeanor and controlled behavior show that he is not aggressive or a threat. In reality, Shakur can take advantage of chances as soon as they come up because he can react and understand his opponent. Boxers like Teofimo Lopez have to deal with opponents who are not only very skilled, but also very disciplined when it comes to following their game plan. This mix of patience, timing, and technique gives him a clear edge.
But he couldn't beat a one-handed guy. And if you go back and watch that fight, like I'm saying, Shakur wasn't just running. Jermaine Ortiz really moved a lot on Teo. That never happened with Shakur Stevenson and fighting this guy. That never happened. So De Los Santos is De Los Santos. He got a reputation off of that. That boosted his reputation. I don't know why. He didn't do nothing to Shakur. He didn't wobble him, didn't hurt him, didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? And the man was one-handed. So, but shout out to De Los Santos. Like I say, I think he's more risk than reward. Actually, That'll be a great fight for Abdullah Mason in his first title defense. That'll be a great fight for him in his title defense. That'll be a good. They should use him for that
instead of Joe Cordina.
Yeah, Joe Cordina was rough too, though. I watched him against the kid from Fresno. What's the kid's name? I forget his name. They was pushing him, but he just ain't there. He took a lot of punishment. He probably need to go get a job. Gabriel Flores. Gabe Flores. Yeah, Gabe Flores.
From Vegas,
yeah. He from Fresno, or he from Sacramento. He from the Bay Area.
He just be training. Yeah, he be training.
Yeah. So I would say I would say that, you know what I mean? Because Abdullah Mason is the guy. You know, I think he got a lot of potential. And like I said, him fighting a guy like De Los Santos is almost like a Bud fighting Gamboa in his first title defense. You know what I mean? So that would be a great fight for Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? And he's more known than Joe Cordina. You know what I mean? And given the controversy that he's been in, you know what I'm saying? The way he's perceived as kind of feared, that'll be a great fight for Abdullah Mason.
Damn, my boy Bernie said that's like Gamboa versus Crawford for his first title defense. That shit is fire.
Yeah.
In a family and understanding way, Terence Crawford adds another layer to this evaluation by giving Shakur Stevenson praise. Crawford says that some people might think Shakur is boring, but that doesn't take into account how many skills he has. Shakur is very good at boxing in a subtle and deep way. The way a fight goes is up to him. He makes smart choices that keep him safe and set himself up to take advantage of mistakes. Crawford says that true boxing fans can see how brilliant Shakur's style is and that he has more skills than just showy moves or knockouts. Stevenson is known for his calculated accuracy, defense intelligence, and well-calibrated aggression. Crawford is sure that people who don't think much of him are missing the point.
I got Shakur. Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Boxing, he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
We're gonna take his personality and personal things out of it. But boxing, he's definitely talented. You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter. You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because they defensive.
Shane Mosley has something to say about fighting styles and how they affect how fights turn out. Mosley thinks that the styles that both fighters bring to the ring will decide the winner. He stresses how important strength, speed, and patience are, and how they work together to decide who wins. Mosley notices that Shakur's measured style can counteract Teofimo's raw aggression, while Teofimo's sudden strength and timing can test even the most calm opponent. Mosley says that what matters is how well each boxer can use their own strategies while also adjusting to the other's strengths. So the fight was a test of both skill and military smarts.
Shakur Stevenson is going to get slower moving up in weight or not, where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. Shakur Stevenson has a very strong style where he can sit back and pot shot you and box and stuff like that, where Teofimo can also box and is very athletic and can get from side to side and can make things difficult for you as well. So what style is going to impose on the other is what we want to see.
So which style will impose? Is it something where like the first rounds really will dictate, or?
I think you're going to need a couple of rounds, but the first round is going to be very interesting. Maybe you see some tails, but I think maybe 2 or 3 you're going to start seeing one leave the other. Because I don't think that, well, maybe, I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, you know, whereas Teofimo's hitting him with different shots off the angle that is kind of giving, you know, Shakur Stevenson trouble. We'll see about that.
Wade, who knows a lot about boxing, looks at the fight in terms of study and preparation. Because of how similar their paths were through the amateur and professional boxing setups, he says that Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson have probably spent a lot of time looking at each other's styles. This two-way familiarity makes a setting where counters and changes are very important. Wade says that both fighters have the technical skills to carry out complex plans, so it's important to be able to guess and respond to what the other fighter will do. So, the fight turns into a chess game in the ring, where small changes and quick choices could decide the winner.
About to fight each other, there's probably not guys that know how they operate better. So if Tio is saying, I'm going to go out there and make you quit, essentially break you and stop you, that's something we haven't seen anyone get close to even hurting Shakur, really. Like, people say the Williams-Zepeda fight, Zepeda hit him with the right hand and Shakur got wobbled, even though it was clearly slipped. I thought that was one of Shakur's better performances because he dug down and bit down on his mouthpiece and said, I'm not just going to play the back foot and be slick and turn this into a very low output fight that I'll win because I'm just, he's better than Zepeda. But he went out there and dogged it out a little bit, and I respected him for it. I don't expect him to fight the same way versus Teofimo Lopez. I really don't. And I think people are looking at the Zepeda fight and going, yeah, that's Shakur we want. And I don't want to say he's going to disappoint people, but he will not fight that way with Tio. He won't. And Tio won't fight the same way Williams-Zepeda did. They'll both be very measured. I think it'll be a very slow-paced, low-output fight. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could see maybe they go to war or something, but we're talking about styles making fights, and Tio's style, even if he's on his front foot, he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot, but he can fight that way. Shakur almost exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange, so I don't know. Not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going, but I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag him out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive, sweet science display from both guys, which, by the way, I think works in Shakur's favor.
You said on there that Terence Crawford sent one of his little guys to come after you, implying that obviously you want a fight.
Lamont Roach says that Stevenson is very good in the ring, especially when it comes to his footwork, timing, and preparation. Shakur can control how fast and how the fight goes with these skills. Roach shows that controlling the ring is more than just moving around. It also means making angles, staying balanced, and setting traps for opponents. Shakur is good at these things, so he can save energy while putting his opponents in less than ideal situations. Stevenson can put pressure on opponents like Teofimo Lopez without overcommitting by managing space and time. This is why, at this point in his career, he is seen as the better boxer in terms of strategy.
Some people thought he lost to Sandor Martin. Who else?
He did beat Loma, who's arguably at the time considered one of the best in the world.
He did, and that was a hell of a performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I mean, I think he's hit or miss. You got to think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like, that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win, and he won a grueling match against him as well. So I just I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like because it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough
Paulie Malignaggi talks about how people see Teofimo Lopez before important fights. He says that Teofimo is often attacked and underrated, and that it gets worse when he fights a famous fighter like Shakur Stevenson. Malignaggi says that Teofimo's lack of attention and image may change what people expect from media stories, but it doesn't take away from his skills. Instead, it makes the mental battle even tougher for both fighters. Because there is so much at stake, and both Stevenson and Lopez are very skilled and driven, the matchup is sure to be exciting. Preparation, skill, and mental toughness will all play a big part in deciding who wins.
Because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out. Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like it's a big threat here to Shakur. And then it would all come undone because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just...
That's all for the video today. So stay tuned. Until the next time.